Thank you. Good evening and welcome to the March 16th, 2020 regular Planning Commission meeting. In compliance with the Open Meetings Act as amended, the Planning Commission will continue to move forward and carry out our planning and development meeting agendas using Zoom video conferencing to limit the potential exposure to the COVID-19 virus. If any member of the public would like to speak on a particular agenda item or during public comment, which is for non-agenda commentary, you'll be recognized by calling into the Zoom meeting and using the ID number. Once you're on the call, press 9 to speak on the phone or raise your hand in the Zoom application. All comments and questions will be audio only and limited to 3 minutes per person. All questions will be answered together after every person has had the opportunity to speak on the same agenda item. Each member of the public that wishes to speak on an item will be asked to state and spell their name and give their address for the record. Members of the public may also comment on an item by sending an email to planning@rochesterhills.org prior to the discussion on the agenda item. Ms. Gentry, will you take a roll call, please?
Certainly. Chairperson Bernabik?
Here, Rochester Hills, Michigan.
Vice Chairperson Hooper?
Here, Rochester Hills.
Secretary Kaltsunis?
Here in Rochester Hills, Michigan.
City Council Member and Commissioner Bowyer?
Here, Rochester Hills, Michigan.
Commissioner Detloff?
Here, Rochester Hills, Michigan.
Commissioner Gaber?
Here in Rochester Hills.
Commissioner Neubauer?
Here, Rochester Hills, Michigan.
Commissioner Reese?
Here, Rochester Hills, Michigan.
Commissioner Weaver?
You have your mic off, Commissioner Weaver, but I think we can see that you're going.
My mistake. I am here in Rochester Hills.
Hey, we have a quorum. I have approval of the minutes from the February 16th, 2021 regular meeting. Does anyone have any comments or questions in regard to those minutes? Okay, so I have a motion by Mr. Hooper and a second by Mr. Kaltsunis. So we have a motion by Mr. Hooper, seconded by Mr. Kaltsunis for approval of the minutes for February 16th, 2021 regular meeting. Take a roll call vote, please.
Reese?
Yes.
Gaber?
Yes.
Neubauer?
Yes.
Weaver?
Yes.
Detloff?
Yes.
Bowyer?
Yes.
Bernabik?
Yes, that motion passes unanimously. Communications, we had planning and zoning news February through April of 2021. Move on to public comment. Ms. Gentry, do we have any email communications?
We do not.
And Ms. Roediger, is there any member of the public that would like to speak?
I do not see anyone's hands raised, no.
And I will close public comment. Move on to presentation, a proclamation for Arlene Ramsey, Mayor Barnett. Good evening.
Good evening, Chairwoman Bernabik and members of the Planning Commission. It's nice to see you this evening. Thank you for a couple minutes to introduce you to someone pretty exceptional. I think she's just been promoted, and there she is. Miss Arlene Ramsey, welcome to the meeting tonight. I think it's been a while since you've been to a Rochester Hills or even then Avon Township Planning Commission meeting, so welcome back. I was introduced to Miss Ramsey via her daughter, Wendy, who shared with us a pretty interesting story. I know some of you have lived in the community longer than I have and perhaps know of Miss Ramsey's roots here and her impact here. But frankly and honestly, I did not until I started reading and learning a little bit more about the role that she played here in really the formative days of our community. And as we've worked hard this month to try to celebrate many of the strong and formidable women who have led this community and created really the place that we all know and love. You don't get too far down the list before you must recognize the achievements of Ms. Ramsey and the work that she provided and the leadership she provided to our city throughout the years. Let me read just a couple of things, and then Ms. Ramsey, I'd like to read a proclamation, and then I would certainly give you an opportunity to share a few thoughts if you would be so kind to do so. But Arlene Bell Ramsey was born in Pennsylvania in 1933, moved to the city of Detroit in the early 1940s, moved out to Avon Township, more importantly, in 1959, and has lived in the city in her current location in Streamwood since the early 90s. In 1970, listen to this, she was appointed to the Planning Commission by Harold Pepper. If anybody remembers Harold Pepper back in the day, but a real formative leader of Avon Township. And she recalled, quote, one of the members of the Planning Commission walked into Harold's office and said, if you're going to appoint Arlene to the vacancy, I'm leaving. Mr. Pepper pushed the papers away and said, there you go, we'll see you later. And Miss Ramsey was the first woman to ever serve on the, at the time, Avon Township Planning Commission. She ran for election a couple times for the city council, including winning one time, but the city's bid to become a city, the township's bid to become a city failed, and so she was not appointed. She was again appointed to the Avon Township Planning Commission in 81, reappointed by Earl Borden in 84, appointed by Earl Borden again in 87, by Billy Ireland in 85, and in all served until 1990 as the first woman to ever serve on the Planning Commission here, both in Avon Township and in the city of Rochester Hills. And so to recognize that formidable leadership, we wanted to provide you with a proclamation. Of course, this is all a little bit easier when we're in person, but virtually, we'll make sure, we'll present this virtually, make sure we get this to you physically. But allow me, Chairman Bernabik, just to read this quickly. It says, whereas Arlene and Richard Ramsey moved to Avon Township in 1955, where they raised their family and became increasingly involved in their community. And whereas appointed by Township Supervisor Pepper in November of 1970, Arlene was the first woman to serve on the Avon Township Planning Commission, where she continued to serve through June of 1981. And meanwhile, Arlene enrolled in Oakland University, Dr. Boyer, our university there, and enrolled in Oakland University's legal assistant program, earned her diploma in 1980 and worked as a paralegal. She continued her studies and received her BA in political science in 1984. In 1984, Township Supervisor Earl Borden appointed Arlene to the Planning Commission, where she became Rochester Hills, which then became the Rochester Hills Planning Commission when the city became a city in November of 1984. Whereas Arlene was reappointed by the Planning Commission by Mayors Borden and Ireland and served through 1990. Arlene also served on the Rochester Hills Zoning Board of Appeals as its chair, the Rochester Hills Recreation Committee, the Avon Township Senior Citizen Housing Committee, the Avon Township Bike Path Advisory Committee, the Avon Rochester Consolidation Committee, to hear the stories of that group, and the Avon Township Second Charter Commission as the secretary. And whereas Arlene stands out as a pioneer for women in local government who dedicated herself to 2 decades of civic service, lending her talents and perspective to several committees and boards, most notably, of course, this robust board, the Planning Commission. Now, therefore, be it resolved that I, Brian Barnett, Mayor of the City of Rochester Hills, hereby recognize and thank Arlene Bell Ramsey for her valuable input on the Planning Commission and her commitment to the betterment of both Avon Township and the City of Rochester Hills. We congratulate you, Arlene. Thank you for your many years of service.
Congratulations.
Well done, Arlene.
And would love to give you a few minutes to make some comments, if you would so desire.
Turn the mic on.
Might still be on mute there, Ms. Ramsey.
Mike,
I think she's
turn the mic on. Oh, there you go.
There we go.
They can hear you.
Okay. I thank you for your kind words, and it was pretty much an experience for all the years that I did serve on various committees and so forth. And made me pretty much very happy to serve in that position, those positions. So thank you very much.
Well, thank you. In my reading, I was introduced to this article in which you appeared in from Oakland University with an interesting title called "Thanks to Working Women, Thousands of Men Have Learned How to Vacuum." And it talks about your entry into the political realm and the impact you've had in our community. And I hope you find it somewhat inspiring that as you fought your way to be the first woman on the Planning Commission, we now are chaired by a woman and have been Ms. Brnabic for many years. And so really thank you for your leadership. And Chairwoman Brnabic, thank you for a few moments to recognize Ms. Ramsey tonight.
Thank you very much. And it's nice to meet you, Ms. Ramson, and hear about your history and your contributions to Avon Township and Rochester Hills. And I'd like to thank you for your service to the community. And it was really nice to hear how involved you were. Oh, thank you.
Thank you very much, Arlene.
Yeah, thank you for being one of the people that laid the groundwork of what we're doing today.
Yeah, thank you for your service.
Fine,
Thank you for breaking that glass ceiling for women on Planning Commission. That was a great job.
Yes. So, but we all got through it, and not that it was not almost.
Okay, so we'll make sure, we'll work with the mayor's office to make sure we get that proclamation to you, Ms. Ramson. And thank you for coming out tonight to our virtual Planning Commission meeting.
You know what?
Thank you, Ms. Ramson.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Chairwoman Brnabic, may I ask just a quick point of personal privilege since I can't stay for tonight's meeting? Would you allow me just a moment to offer one other word of congratulations and thanks to Member Reese. Dave, thank you for your many years of service, 16 years of service. This is, I know, your last meeting, and I can only assume that you plan to spend more time in that place behind you. The place behind me is a treadmill. I don't visit it often. Hopefully you'll have more success in the visiting your screen there. But in all sincerity, you have provided tremendous guidance with your professionalism, the perspective you bring as an architect, and just the mindset has been incredibly valuable to us as a community, certainly your friends and colleagues on the commission, but even greater than that, I hope you feel a sense of pride as you drive through our city, recognizing the impact you've had and the really positive role you played. And so certainly from me, I want to say thank you. I'm sure the other council members outside of Dr. Boyer who aren't here would echo the same. And I wish you much success in the next chapter. And again, I just want to make sure you know how much you are appreciated and the impact that you had. So thank you for allowing me a couple moments to say that.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor. It's been a privilege. It's been an honor. I didn't realize it's been 16 years until today, but this is my home. I grew up in the city of Detroit, but for me, Rochester Hills is my home. I raised my family here and met a lot of great people serving the city for the time that I did. I thank you also for your faith and leadership and appointing me to this commission for all the years that you have. Thank you.
You
will be missed, Dave. Like we said earlier before you got on, Mayor, we're talking to Dave. He will be missed. There's no question about it. I was on a commission when Paul Corneliuson was our architect, and then Paul recommended Dave and or roped him into it, or I don't know, probably some side bet or something like that. I'm not sure exactly what happened, but it's really been a pleasure, Dave. Absolutely been a pleasure.
Absolutely. Dave, I hope you're still going to be part of the Kings Cove community.
I'm not going anywhere for a year or two, Jerry.
Good.
Maybe.
Good.
Means you probably still owe your dues or something, Dave. That's why Jerry cares.
No, Jerry's a taskmaster. I hate for him to come tow my car away for parking in the
But I apologize for throwing you off, Chairman. I hope I didn't do that. I'll excuse myself to let you get back to the good work. Thank you all for your leadership and appreciate your dedication to the city. God bless everybody. Take care.
Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor.
So we will move on to new business. a request for acceptance of the preliminary study report for 1021 Harding Avenue.
Good evening, Planning Commissioners. Kristen isn't able to make the meeting this evening, so I'll cover this report for her. But as you may or may not be aware, we have the property located at 1021 Harding Avenue. It's a historic home that unfortunately had a pretty devastating fire, I think almost 4 years ago now. And the property has been sitting, and the property owner has been, made attempts to try to maintain it and keep it from falling into further disrepair. But due to a series of very unfortunate circumstances, they don't have the wherewithal to bring the house up to code, make it livable. It's currently, like I said, I think it's been sitting, uninhabitable. I don't believe there's even electricity or water to the house at this point. And so they did go before the city council in December and ask for the property to be delisted because of the extensive amount of damage to the property. Their efforts to improve it, aren't really financially feasible. The damage was too extreme. So they are asking for the property to be delisted, as without the home, there isn't really a whole lot of historic value in the rest of the property. So as you see in the packet this evening, the city council did authorize the historic district study committee to proceed with a preliminary study to evaluate the potential delisting of this property. The property has a preliminary report, which has been included in your packet and went to the HDSC in February. And as part of the delisting process, it is a little bit of a lengthy process that has to go through the state offices. They need to get forward on to SHPO and various departments. And the Planning Commission is part of that process as well to evaluate if the delisting of the property will have any consequences from the Planning Commission's perspective in terms of the master plan recommendations for the future use of that property. And then the HDSC will hold a public hearing at a special meeting they're going to hold in April. I believe it's April 22nd. Is the date, at which point they will then make a formal recommendation to City Council, and it's the City's Council purview to decide if they want to amend the district to keep the property or to remove the property. But so, from a Planning Commission standpoint, this evening you are asked to consider the impact of the delisting of the property from the Planning Commission's from the master plan perspective. So. We've seen these, we haven't seen any of these since I've been here at the city, but Maureen, and I believe some of you I know have seen these requests prior, maybe 10 years ago or plus, as we've just talked. There's many of you been on this commission for many, many years. But so it's a relatively straightforward recommendation. And again, this will go to the HDSC, will then make a recommendation to the City Council. So I see the hand raised, happy to answer any questions that you may have.
Thank you. Mr. Hooper.
Thank you, Chairperson Barnavic. I've been on Planning Commission for quite a while, and we've had a few of these, and I've been on City Council, and we had a few of these too. And obviously, Ms. Roediger was very accurate, and our determination is strictly limited to adherence to Master Land Use Plan, and whether it's listed or not or delisted, it would have no effect on that. And without getting into the politics behind it, which there's, I know the property owner from way back, so beyond that, I'm not gonna say anything more than that. Other than I will move the motion in the packet.
Support. And one quick point is there's will and will not. I assume.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, will not have any impact.
Confirmed.
Okay, and Mr. Gaber.
Excuse me. Thank you, Chairperson Barnavic. I just wanted to ask Ms. Roediger, is there, I mean, I'm not aware of any impact that this delisting would have on, relative to the master plan or land use planning or the development of the property or any of those items that are within our purview. There's no staff report or any indication from staff that it would have any impact. And I just wanted to get your opinion on that.
Yeah, I mean, whether or not this property is is considered historic or not doesn't change its zoning. It just changes the review process associated with the type of structure that can be built on it. It doesn't affect the density or, like I said, the underlying zoning of the property. And the underlying zoning property allows for residential district uses. The master land use plan calls for residential single family uses on this property. And so whether or not it has to go through the historic review is I think it just changes in terms of the aesthetic. And I think that's something we would factor into the review as part of any review of it anyway.
Yes. No, thank you.
So
You
yes,
answered my
it does not
question.
impact.
No, I appreciate that. And I like Mr. Hooper, remember some of these before. I was involved in the one at Eddington. That was similar, that property was severely damaged as well. So I can understand where the applicants are coming from. Thank you.
Thank you. So I have a motion by Mr. Hooper, seconded by Mr. Kalsunas, that the Rochester Hills Planning Commission has reviewed the Historic District Study Committee report regarding the delisting of the designated historic district located at 1021 Harding Avenue, and has determined that the delisting will not have any impact on the property with respect to the city's master land use plan or any other development related issues, and encourages the HDSC to move forward with the report. Is there any discussion on the motion? Ms. Gentry, will you take roll call, please? Roll call vote.
Hooper,
Yes.
Kalsunas,
Yes.
Weaver,
Yes.
Detloff,
Yes.
Boyer,
Yes.
Gaber,
Yes. Sorry.
Newbauer,
Yes.
Reese,
Yes.
Bernabik.
Yes, that motion passes unanimously. Okay, we will move on to any other business. Request for recommendation of a planning commission representative to the zoning board of appeals for a 1-year term to expire March 31st, 2022. Ms. Roediger?
Yes, it's that time of the year again where we have to make sure we have appropriate representation from the Planning Commission. So we have a motion in the packet for you guys to consider if you want to start, nominations, if anyone wants to volunteer, if we want to continue as we've done, or if there's anyone else who would like to serve in that fashion. I guess we're ready to see what the Planning Commission would like to do.
Okay, Mr. Kalsunas, are you going to move with this motion or?
Yes, Chairperson Bernabik, thank you. I would like to know if you would like to carry on your role with the ZBA. I would love to nominate you.
Yes, I would. Thank you.
Okay. I would like to move the motion in the packet then at the Rochester Hills Planning Commission hereby recommends the City Council that Chairperson Deborah Bernabik shall serve as its representative on the Zoning Board of Appeals for a 1-year term to expire March 31st, 2022.
Okay, I have a second by Mr. Hooper. So I guess for the record, I have to repeat this one. A motion by Mr. Kalsunas, seconded by Mr. Hooper, that the Rochester Hills Planning Commission hereby recommends to City Council that Deborah Bernabik shall serve as its representative on the Zoning Board of Appeals for a 1-year term to expire March 31st, 2022. Any discussion on the motion? Ms. Gentry, will you take a roll call vote, please?
Kalsunas,
Yes.
Hooper,
Yes.
Gaber,
Yes.
Boyer,
Yes.
Reese,
Yes.
Newbauer,
Yes.
Weaver,
Yes.
Detloff,
Yes.
Bernabik.
Yes, that motion passes unanimously, and thank you. Yes, at this point, I'd like to say, Dave, that it's safe to say, I'm sorry you're leaving the PC. I'll truly miss your architectural knowledge and advice and I truly respect your ability to present a well-balanced review, equally representing development and the residents of Rochester Hills. It's been a pleasure working with you for so many years, and you will definitely be missed. And I wish you the best, Dave.
Thank you very much, Deb. I mean, it's been a great run. I was thinking back while we were going through the last motion about some of the people that served that we've lost and have missed, and Bill comes to mind immediately. How much of a mentor Bill Boswell was for me when I first came on the commission, terrified, not knowing what I was doing, and Bill was certainly a calming influence for myself, and I think for a lot of other people. And sitting next to Neil for all those years offered a unique perspective on a lot of things. I've formed some great friendships with people over the years, Jerry and Greg and Nick for sure. We served together for a long time. I watched Sarah come up through the ranks and taken over some big shoes to fill and has done more than an admirable job in filling those roles. So I think you guys are all in great hands. I wish you all the best of luck, and thanks for giving me the opportunity to serve the city.
Thank you, Dave.
Well done.
Hey, Dave, is there any one particular project that out of all those years just kind of is the standout that you were involved with?
In a good or a bad way?
I guess both. Yeah, give me one good, give me one bad.
I still, from a bad perspective, and this is off the record, but that damn dental clinic on the corner of Hamlin and Livernois still, to me, looks like it dropped out of the sky and fell on somebody's legs. I don't care what anybody says. That's not good architecture.
So much hope.
We had some great projects come along, some challenges with the residents, of surrounding areas that felt that they own the land that people wanted to develop. Greg was always good at, setting the record straight for those people. And, I think more than on a few occasions, I offered the residents a quick solution and pony up the money, buy the property from the developer, and you can have it as your own personal playground all you want. So, I don't think there's one particular project, Jerry, but there certainly were a lot of great ones that we've worked on together, and we did it as a team.
Yep.
That's for sure, with great leadership from Deb, from Bill previously, and I don't think I can pinpoint one particular project that stood out for me personally. It was St. Mary's of the Hills, the church and the school that I designed and built many years ago when it came out of the ground from nowhere. But I remember coming to the Planning Commission representing the church and thought, boy, what a bunch of, I won't even say the word I was thinking at the time, because we went through hell trying to get that approved. But I think, shortly thereafter, the commission flipped and became a more user-friendly commission. I think we weren't pro-developer or anti-developer. We were balanced and fair in a lot of respects. And that's what I enjoyed most about the commission. People were allowed to speak their mind if it was a legitimate concern or argument, and it was heard. And didn't always win every fight, but that's okay. That's what democracy is about. So
right.
Really am thankful for the time, and it's the time for some new, fresh thinking maybe. On my part, I'll be looking to retire here in a couple years at the most and be moving up north. So I wish I was going to Lake Como like Brian had said, because that would be great. But moving to Switzerland and to Italy isn't in my immediate plans. Maybe for the summer or the winter time, but that's about it. So
yeah.
But
well, David,
I really miss all you guys. I certainly appreciate it. I didn't get to know Susan well and never had a face-to-face with Marby, but and everybody else has been all great friends.
Yeah,
Thank you so
you're
much
leaving.
for your service. We really appreciate it. You've done a great job, and I think this commission, for what's been built and what you guys have done over the last few years, everybody really appreciates. all the efforts that you guys do as a team. And you're one of the key members on that team, Dave. So congratulations. And
Right.
Thank you.
No, we've got big shoes to fill. I mean, it's very difficult to find somebody with your, your expertise, your disposition, the way you present your arguments, and you're very fair-minded and such, Dave. So it's going to be, like I said, tough to fill your spot. I mean, we'll try to replace you, but it's going to be very difficult to do. And, I've appreciated the opportunity to serve with you. Haven't always agreed with you, but I've appreciated your arguments, your positions, and, the way you express yourself. I think you've done a great credit to the city of Rochester Hills. And, for that, we're very grateful to you.
Thank you, John.
Yeah, I definitely want to echo. One more thing I want to bring up too, but with Dave is whenever there's an issue before us that's architecturally related, I always defer to you, Dave. I always bring it up. Well, I'm not the architect here, and I'm not sure, what the right thing to do would be, but having your expertise was invaluable on the commission. So that's
And what's interesting about it, 40 years.
Your volume's off now, Dave.
Fix your mic.
Something's up with your speaker, Dave.
Can you hear me? No. Well, no.
No.
It's all
It's just distorted.
Muffled.
All right, I'll shut up then.
Well, Dave, even though we've argued in the past, I didn't agree with your architectural sometimes ideas. I'll miss you and put me down as a reference in the future. Good luck.
Yeah, and thank you, Dave, for the kind words. You said it's been a pleasure. And it is challenging trying to find good architects to serve on the commission. So if anyone knows of any architects who live in Rochester Hills who want to serve, let me know. But it's like I said, it's tough shoes to fill.
I defer to Dave on that one to give us some insight. So,
And I
tried to get a couple people that didn't want to.
His microphone's tired.
Yeah, I think he said he tried. I don't know if I heard that right, but
something happened to your mic, Dave. I don't know what happened to your mic.
I know.
well, I absolutely agree with all other comments that other commissioners have made. And like I said, you will definitely be missed. We do have a certificate of appreciation for you that sounds like we will be meeting in person next month. So it'll give all of us the opportunity to sign it and mail it out to you. So it doesn't mean you can't visit us once in a while. That would be nice.
See, Dave, you got out just in time. You're not going to have to see me face to face. Run while you can, huh?
I guess I will just mention that our next meeting date is April 20th, 2021. And Mr. Kalsunas.
Thank you, Chairperson Barnabic. Again, I'd like to wish good travels to my old neighbor on the Planning Commission. And I'd like to make a motion to adjourn.
Okay, and I have a second by Mr. Reese. So we have a motion by Mr. Kalsunas and seconded by Mr. Reese for adjournment. Maureen, will you take roll call vote, please?
Kalsunas,
Yes.
Reese,
Yes.
Bowyer,
Yes.
Bauer,
Yes.
Weaver,
Yes.
Beaver,
Yes.
Jetlock,
yes.
Hooper,
Yes.
Person Bernabic.
Yes. So the meeting is now adjourned. Everyone stay safe, take care, and like I said, come back and join us, Dave.
Come for the cookies in December that we
I'll do that.
We should move that up to the next meeting, like cookies in April.
There we go. I'll be in touch before the next meeting. As I said, the next meeting will look a little different than we're used to, as we were talking about before the meeting with spacing requirements and things. So knowing that the next meeting is our CIP meeting, which historically we have a lot of staff come, it will definitely be interesting. So
challenge.
yeah. All right, we'll see you all then.
Thank you.
Okay, good night.
Take care.
Thanks, Dave.